Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Cowboys in the Kitchen. I did promise I was going to do this last night, but I had a migraine that hit. It was not fun. Still kind of getting over it. So I'm not going to wear this because it's still a little loose in here and I don't want it falling in the dough. But I do get to get another hat. There, that one's a little bit tighter. So we're going to do tonight chocolate chip M&M cookies. So if you've ever gotten a bag of Nestle's chocolate chips, on the back of every package the recipe is there. We're going to do double batch. I'm going to be up baking way after this is done. We have to put the dry stuff and the wet stuff, but the dry stuff we're going to do first. Flour. This is a double batch, so I need 4.5 cups of flour. I should have done a video from Walmart today because I went out and got a 25-pound bag of sugar, 25-pound bag of flour. So we are all set for the rest of baking into spring around here. So I need 9 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So got the flour. And put the cap back on this. Baking soda and salt. Bring over the baking soda and salt. Recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of each. Since it's a double, we get 2 teaspoons of each. 1, 2, there we go. And once again, if you've got steady hands, the way to do this, you do it right over the bowl. If you don't think you can handle it, do it over the sink. As long as you don't dump a bunch of salt in here that you don't want and or need. So there's 1. And 2. There you go. Let's see. Baking soda and salt. Okay, flour, baking soda, and salt. That's all you need. Got to mix that together. Alright, we mix this stuff all up, and that way the salt and the baking soda are not all sitting in one spot. It's all pre-mixed in before it goes in the blender. Okay, so now before I go tackle the wet stuff, I'm going to get another big bowl. And I'm going to measure out my chocolate chips and my M&Ms, and I'm going to mix them all together. So 1 batch of this calls for 2 cups of chocolate chips. So we're going to get 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of M&Ms. Actually, 2 cups of each for a double. A big old chunk. I'm not going to use that. Not if I can help it anyway. There we go. There's a good sized cup. Sorry for the noise. And there's another good sized cup right there. Okay, got the chocolate chips. I'll put the chunk back in. Won't let that one get away either. And we need 2 cups of M&Ms. We may get to the bottom of this, so I got another bag of M&Ms just in case. 1. And let's try this way. Okay, that's pretty close. Right about another cup. Okay. If there's any loose in there, we'll shake those in. These are just little spares. Yep, there was one. Didn't let it get away. I'm just going to take my hand because my hands are clean. And go in there and got another chunk of chocolate chips. It's the other thing we want to avoid is having any big old chunks of chips in there. What do we got? Hey, Vanessa. Okay. Alright. So for all you sugar fiends, there you go. Let's see. So I'm going to put that up. Now we're going to do the wet ingredients, but I need this bag back because it has the recipe on it. So we got the chocolate chips and M&Ms. We got the dry ingredients. Now it says beet butter, granulated sugar, brown sugar, and vanilla. Okay, so butter calls for 2 sticks, so we need 4 sticks. And I just happened to set out on the counter yesterday this. You've never made homemade chocolate chip cookies? Girl, go get you a bag of Nestle's chips. Recipe's right on it. You can't go wrong. So we're going to do 4 sticks of butter. Don't get too impatient because otherwise you'll put paper in there and that won't taste good on your cookies. Also, yes, for those of you who are in legal states like we are now, but you can't get it here, if you were going to make medical cookies with cannabis, you could substitute can butter for regular butter and it'll work. Just be careful on the strength of your butter. You may need to do 1 stick worth of can butter and 1 stick worth of regular butter if you don't want to make overly strong cookies. Okay, there's 2 sticks. Three sticks. Okay, and 1 more. If you take the butter and leave it sitting on the counter, if the butter's in the freezer and you leave it sitting out on the counter for about 6 hours, you should be good. You should be able to squish with your fingers, not that I'm going to do it with the wrapper off, with your fingers, and get the butter to squish within your fingers. So, and you shouldn't have to press it hard either. If it's too hard, don't make it because you'll just sit there and have little globs of butter in it. Okay, so butter granulated sugar calls for 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, so we need 1.5 cups. And I have the sugar container, which got filled up again. I'm just going to use the 1/2 cup measuring cup. I don't mind that it's got a little bit of flour in there. So I need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Oven's almost at the temperature we needed already. And put the lid back on that. I know we need brown sugar. Again, we're using white brown sugar for this. Oh, see, there it goes. And it says 3/4 cups of packed brown sugar. So, again, we're going to have to take this, and it's not just dip it in and scoop it out. We're going to have to dip this in and pack it into the cup. So it should be solid. When I go like this, look, it comes out formed. So there's 1. 2. And there we go, 3. All right, there we go. So we got the brown sugar, butter granulated sugar, brown sugar, and vanilla extract. It calls for a teaspoon of vanilla extract, but since we're doing the double batch, we need 2. Again, I've been at this long enough. I'm not going to spill a bunch in there. 1. 2. dribble a little. There we go. 2. Now, we're going to put this up. We're going to put that on. Sorry about the noise. Just going to get that nice and smooth. And we have to add in eggs. So there's 2 eggs per single batch, so there's 4 per dozen. I got the eggs out already. Number 1. Two. Starting to form up already. 3. And 4. There we go. By the time you have all the eggs in and the butter's all whipped up, it should start looking a little creamy. See if I can give you guys a close-up. See, that looks all creamy in there. Alright. So now I'm going to turn down just a hair. And I'm going to get the flour mixture out. So gradually beat in the flour mixture so we got it on low. We can do that. Do a little over on this side. 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 Now they do make an attachment for the KitchenAid that will let you, it's got like a little ramp, a lift around the top with a little ramp. So you can just pour your stuff in from this little ramp. But it all dumps it down to the same spot. And I would rather get both sides evenly coated. So now that's really kind of doughed up. So now I can add in the morsels. Again, we're going to do a little bit on this. Let that get in there. A little bit over here. A little bit in here. A little bit in here. I got 1 chocolate chip left over. There we go. I'll let that mix just for a minute. That looks pretty good. You guys can see. See? That's nice and doughy and stuff. See, if my kitchen was full of teenage girls, I wouldn't have a chance to cook these because they'd just be chowing the dough. But I don't do that. Okay, I'm going to get my 2 cookie sheets out. I'm going to set them over here. I'm going to get my other stuff that I had sitting out here and put it up. And I've got my, always make sure you put the drawer back in before you walk around the stove. Unless somebody has to call an ambulance and say, my friend's on Facebook, and he just fell in his kitchen. That would be a bad thing. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the dough that's attached to the beater here. And then over on this side, there, I got rid of most of it. And over on the side here. The only hard part about it with making cookies is you got this mixer beater with the holes in it. And you can't always clear the holes. Alright. Get this in here. Boy, it just doesn't want to go down, does it? There we go. I got pretty much cleared off for the most part. The work I had paid off. Okay, now if you guys thought it was easy to put ginger snaps on the sheet, these are even easier because you just spoon it out, scoop it in. No rolling, don't have to make little balls. Alright, I need my handy dandy parchment paper. What else we got? Hey, it's my darling daughter. Gotta show grandkids. Gotta show grandkids. Tell them, hey, Grandpa's on Facebook. Alright, so there's that. And I'm going to get a spoon. And I still may get dough on my fingers. Corbin says, hi, Grandpa. Grandpa's making cookies. See if you were here. Ooh. Grandpa loved to make cookies. And again, I'm only going to do like 10 per sheet. And these will wind up being a lot flatter, by the way, than the ginger snaps were, and that's okay. You just take your spatula and cut along the edges where they're stuck together. And you can still scrape them off, just like Klingons on the starboard bow. Scrape them off, Jen. All right. I know my daughter's laughing because she's heard me play that song before. There we go. Get a little bit extra here. Now I know the ginger snaps were 10 minutes each. I remembered that because I made those fairly recently. I haven't made these for a little bit yet. And so now we've got a sheet full. And you can't really do a sheet ahead because you're not rolling and putting it in anything. So just stick with the two. Let's see. 9 to 11 minutes. So yeah, 10 minutes. See if you can get the same. Got them all nice and set up there. Hey, there's Bree. Alright. There's that. We're going to set the timer. Kitchen timer. 1000 start. And while this is sitting up, take a few minutes. Alright, got those. I'm gonna get out 10 of these. I've had a couple people ask me, are you going to do anything other than bake on this? Well, yes, actually I am. I've been on this fast thing for a week. Kind of sort of went off of it today because when I got my migraine, I needed caffeine. So yes, I had a Rockstar. But that was this morning, so you can't really tell. I'm not talking 200 miles an hour. But next week, one night, I'm going to fix dinner. And yes, it's going to be for me and the doggies because I don't like to cook for just me. And they like salmon. I mean, what dog wouldn't, right? So, don't worry, it's not real expensive salmon fillets. It's the cheapo stuff you get at the grocery store, pre-frozen, skin on. And I'm going to show you guys how I do the lemon pepper chicken because it's real easy. You can do it if you're just cooking for one. And it's as good as pretty much any restaurant I've ever been at. I can tell you that much. So if I ever find a good recipe for blackened salmon, we'll have to try that. Because being a good Northwest raised boy, I like my salmon. So there we go. That's all set up. That's ready to go for the next sheet. And I can set these over here. I can put up the parchment paper. We've got about 7 minutes. I'm going to take this and set it over on the stove. And get my little cookie racks out here. There we go. So yeah, the one thing I'm going to do with the salmon that I have yet to do is, at least on Facebook, I've done this on my own before, is I'm going to use some of the essential oils that Carla and I use. We are very fond of and have been using doTERRA oils for about 5 years now. Sean says we would come out, but we're snowed in. Yeah, I know. It's like I've got almost 6 inches of snow outside. But I'm determined I'm going to take these to church. Anyway, so we use this doTERRA oil, and for the salmon, I use a couple of drops of lemon with lemon pepper and just a little bit of melted butter. Stick it in the oven, you bake it for about 25 minutes, and it's done, and it's good, and it tastes great, and it's good for you. At least that's what the doctor told me. He says I have to eat more salmon. I said, okay. Evelyn says she misses me. Well, I miss you too, sweetheart. See, you got to come out here and be on Grandpa's show. See, you and me in the kitchen baking cookies. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's see. We've got about 6 minutes left. I should ask also if there's anything I've ever baked for like any of you, even you, Teresa, like when you were little, that you want me to try doing on here and showing you how to make it. Let me know. You know, already I've done a lot of my favorites. We did sourdough French bread. The pumpkin bread was just a brand new thing. But I have to make that here in a couple of weeks, so I'll probably get some starter going tomorrow. Because my other daughter, Melanie, when she gets back to school in New York, we didn't send Christmas presents out west because she had a lot of stuff going on. So I told her, I said, I'm just going to drive your Christmas presents. And it's about a 10-hour drive, but I don't mind. I haven't seen her for a while. I'll go make her a loaf of the pumpkin bread and some other goodies and stuff, and we'll go make that drive out there to New York because, hey, it's worth the drive because she's there. Cherry, like the ones Mac ate. I will do that. Next time I make sourdough starter, I will do that. What Teresa's talking about, I'll get the book. There's this recipe. They call it cherry rose rolls. And I made these one time and left them on a counter about this high, and actually maybe a little higher. I don't know. What do you think, Teresa? Yeah, it was probably, that counter I think was probably about there. Anyway, we had a husky, and I did not know it was him. I thought it was her. I thought Teresa went and took off to church with them, and I got after her, and yes, I was the bad dad. I accused her, and as it turned out, it was the dog, because he came up the stairs, and once I looked at him closely, right on the tip of his nose, there was this little blob of cherry. And it's like, you let me do that to her. You let me punish her. So anyway, that's what they look like, up good and close and personal. And these were so good, they actually made the cover right there in the background. So you make kind of a royal icing, you swirl it. But that one will probably have to be a 2-day thing, because I think, yeah, once you do the dough on this, you have to place it in the refrigerator for 2 hours or overnight. So we'll probably do the dough up one night, and the next day up we'll do the cinnamon rose rolls. I actually have the cherries for it. I just haven't made them yet. So this has got about 3.5 minutes left. I'm going to take the sugar and the salt and put those away, because I like to have very little left to do once I'm done. Oh, I don't need that there. I need this. Go up. There we go. Thank goodness you guys can't see my covers. That's the other thing I was going to tell you, is when you're going and buying stuff like this, okay, so they've got on here Red's Amazing M&M cookies. There's absolutely no reason that I couldn't have taken that other recipe or taking this recipe instead of the other recipe. And it's pretty much the same thing. 2 sticks of butter, 2/3 cup of brown sugar. Okay, a little less brown sugar. 4/3, yeah, 1 1/3 cup. 1 1/3 cup of sugar, so a little less on the sugar side. Same amount of eggs, a little bit more vanilla extract, a little less flour, a little more baking soda, same amount of salt, and they call for 1 3/4 cups of M&Ms. So pretty much almost identical recipe, and you can use this instead of the other one. So down to about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Tell you what, I'll take you guys with me. Not going to take the doggies out. Never taking you guys on a tour of the house. Let's see. I'll put those on and this on. And I'll show you what kind of winter wonderland we have outside. That's what it looks like. And there's my truck. And I've already brushed it off once. So we've got, yeah, a good 6 inches out there. And yes, it's cold. So we'll go back in. There's my little buddies. That's Hooker, by the way. But we just call her Boo. Okay, 1.5 minutes. Okay, get this straightened back out. Okay, there we go. I'm going to want these out. And I'll have you guys stick around just long enough to see what they look like coming out. And I'll put the other ones in. And then I will bid you all a fond good evening while I go finish up the rest of this. Down to under a minute. So if you guys like this, by the way, please feel free to invite your friends to like the page, because we're not selling anything here. I mean, yeah, okay, Carla and I do the oils, and we have a separate page for that. And I may tell you in the middle of a show, hey, you know, if you'd like these and you want to try them out, go see our other page. You can do that. But I'm not going to have commercials for like stuff like KitchenAid or any food products. I'm just going to show you the things I use. And if you want to use, I don't know, Brand X chocolate chips, use Brand X chocolate chips. Don't bother me any at all. So, let's see, down to 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, way too light. So we're going to do it another minute. Actually, I'm going to do 1.5 minutes. Now that I remembered, I think these were 11 minutes and 30 seconds, even though the package says 11, or says 9 to 11 minutes. I do like mine a little bit on the crispy done side, not really scorched, but not blank white. So, I'll probably do salmon. Then maybe around springtime, I'll gotta get a new grill. So once I figure out what kind of grill I'm getting, I might go and do an outdoor cooking show. Once it warms up, not when it's got 6 inches of snow outside. That's just a little too much for yours truly. But yes, invite your friends. If you have suggestions for stuff you want cooked, do that. If you have questions about recipes, feel free to IM those. And we're down to about 30 seconds. Good thing I gave up my guitars, because otherwise I'd be doing a song right about now. Oh, we got 30 seconds. Ding, ding, ding. No, I'm going to do that. I know Teresa's laughing. Either that or shaking her head. Down to like 15 seconds. Should be getting more closer to the color of donedness that I like. Yep. And put these in. Get those in there. And I'll put on kitchen timer, 11 minutes, 30 seconds. Start. And now I will show you the donedness of these. Now you can see they're still not They're not really dark, but they're not super duper light. And you can see how I said some of them are stuck together. I'll show you how we take those apart here. I'll use this one. I like this spatula. So there's that one. And you just keep it upright and take like the corner and slide it back and forth. Just separate them a little bit. Don't get too vicious with it. And these are going to have to sit for a couple minutes before if I took them off right now, they would be way too soft. So we're just going to let them sit. And right now, you can separate them when they're really, really soft, but you can't do much with them, because if you start tinkering with these, they'll tear or they'll fall apart. It won't look pretty at all. But show you again what they look like here. And who knows, maybe when we're all said and done for the night, I'll take a still photo of those and set it up on the page. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. You guys have a great evening. God bless, and enjoy some warm time in the kitchen when it's cold out. Take care.